So what is going on, everybody? Thank you so much for joining me for today's video. My name is Ray. I'm a guitar player here on YouTube, and in the land of floor modeling units, Headrush and Line 6 Helix arguably have some of the best products on the market right now. The reason why I'm making this video today comparing the two is because those are the two floor modeling units that I own. Here's my Headrush, and here's my Helix. So between the two floor units, there's an overall overwhelming winner between the two. It's not as close as I thought it was going to be. It's pretty significant in terms of the gap, in terms of which one I like more. Let's talk about the Headrush first. Headrush is my first modeling unit ever. I got my first Headrush pedalboard when it first came out in around early 2017, and I was in love, man. It opened the door for me in terms of like having a piece of gear that you can tweak and just dial in and just alter all the parameters. The Headrush pedalboard was before the Axe-Fx, before plugins, before anything, man. Like, that was it. That was my first one. And throughout the years, I've been buying and trading and selling them, and I keep seeming to get one of these units back. And this is the latest one that I've had for about maybe 4 or 5 months now. This actual unit went on tour with me as well, so this one has a little bit of sentimental value to me. This one went all over the country, and it served as my actual pedal board, which was like a tuner, a drop pedal, and maybe like a reverb or something like that. But I personally have never found myself wanting to gravitate towards the Headrush pedal board and make that my end-all be-all for tone. I've never recorded really with it at all, I don't think, and I've used it live as the like distorted tone, I think, one time as well, running it through a solid state power amp. But I've never been like, I'm gonna use my Headrush pedal board for this rhythm guitar track or something like Firmwares update and products update all the time. I'm just a guy with an opinion, but until then, as of right now, which is June 2022, the tones that I can personally get with the Headrush just aren't my favorite, but obviously I love it enough to where I keep buying these things, and I'll get to that right now. So although I'm not really recording with it all that much, I love the user friendliness. I'm very fortunate and very lucky enough that the Headrush pedalboard was actually my first modeling unit, because it allowed me to understand how different parameters worked, and the user experience was and still is so much fun that you know, it made the learning curve of how to dial in a guitar tone relatively easy in comparison to, say, maybe an Axe-Fx or something like that. So overall, the tones, the stock tones, are just okay for me, but I certainly feel myself gravitating towards the Helix a lot more. Enter the Line 6 Helix. Now, this is not a sponsored video or anything like that. Guys, I'm just being honest. I have found myself just being really, really infatuated with this unit, and I'm going to set it down because it's heavy, but you guys have seen this all over the channel, but all my demos as of late have been with the Line 6 Helix. There's something about the feel of the Helix that I think separates it from the Headrush. The Headrush is very flat and very, very like linear in terms of like the dynamics with your picking hand. The signal cuts out a lot with the Headrush unless you're always digging in, but in terms of dynamics and touch, the Helix has a much better response, and you can be a lot more dynamic, and it feels real and it feels organic, and it doesn't feel like it's like wide open on 10 all the time. The Headrush just doesn't have that much dynamic playability in my own personal experience. biggest gripe I have with the Helix is it's not touchscreen. I don't know how many times learning the Helix that like I was trying to move the blocks from being in Headrush land for so long, because again, that's what I grew up learning with floor modeling units. If the Helix got a touchscreen, it would be like a game changer. It would be, you know, the best on the market. It still arguably could be the best on the market, but I just think a touchscreen would just make it that much, you know, better, you know what I mean? And it is possible because not only does the Headrush pedalboard have a touchscreen, but I believe the Quad Cortex does as well. So if a Helix gets a touchscreen, watch out, you know what I mean? But all in all, man, just to kind of wrap up my thoughts on the Helix, I just think it's a more usable tone, a more realistic tone. It's more expensive, so, you know, you get what you pay for, but I just think the Headrush for me is more or less just like a tool and a quick dial-in thing, but a Helix, in my own opinion, has a more quality, usable type of distortion and or, you know, just overall tone. So everybody, those are my thoughts and opinions between the Headrush and the Helix. I love them both, obviously, but if I had to pick one, I'd go Helix. I just think it's a more significant, usable, organic, organic's not a right word, a more realistic, organic sounding type of tone. So everybody, that's going to do it for this video. If you're brand new to my channel, be sure to subscribe. I am out of here. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay metal. See you guys next time. Later.